Is Lethality Samira actually broken? Is Trinity Force back on Aurelia? The item alterations over the past 2 patches have brought forth an excess of new builds, so in today's video, we'll be breaking down 10 that are the most OP. Just before we get into the builds, if you want to improve fast and get the rank you've always wanted, then go to SkillCapped.com. Stop wasting your time grinding thousands of games only to see no progress. With SkillCapped, you'll uncover the secrets to climbing ranks fast that only take a few minutes to learn and can be immediately applied in your next game. The best part is it's completely risk-free to try, as you're kept safe with our rank up insurance. If you don't significantly improve while actively using SkillCapped, then you get your money back, no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Get the rank you've always wanted by clicking the link in the description below. Alright, now let's start off by covering 2 new top lane builds. With Shield Bow recently removed as a mythic item, it's opened up a new build for Aurelia. The majority of Aurelia players are building Jock as their mythic, but Trinity Force is actually extremely strong. Trinity saw a few massive buffs in 13.10 that are still flying under the radar. When it comes down to a potent side lane build that is going to give you the greatest dueling power in the 1v1, Trinity is definitely the play on Aurelia moving forward. If your team has a really good 5v5 and you think you'll be grouping a lot more, that's where going something like Jock for a bit more durability is an option. 2-item core of Blade of the Ruined King into Trinity Force is extremely deadly though, and provides Aurelia a nice mix of burst and extended dueling power. 3rd item really depends on the game, as Death's Dance is strong into AD comps, while Wit's End is best into AP. Rune Page is Conqueror with Triumph, Alacrity, and Last Stand, followed by Biscuits and Cosmic Insight for secondaries. An item that has all of a sudden become the meta second purchase on Garen and is giving him a ton of strength in the 1v1 is Hullbreaker. For just a 200 gold increase, the item had its AD increased by 10, and it now also grants 5% bonus movement speed. This could actually be one of the most underrated changes to come out of patch 13.10, as that is a huge amount of gold value for a very little cost increase. For perspective, 10 AD is worth 350 gold, and 5% move speed is worth 400. So the fact that the item is only up by 200 means Hullbreaker received 550 gold worth of stats for free. Even without the passive in effect, Hullbreaker is now 133% efficient from base stats alone, which is crazy. The 2-item core you'll want to run on Garen consists of Stridebreaker into Hullbreaker. 3rd item, Dead Man's Plate, works best for most games. Conqueror and Phase Rush are viable keystones for Garen. Conqueror is going to work best into tanks or easy melee matchups, while Phase Rush is best in ranged matchups or in melee lanes where you need short trades to win. With Kraken Slayer removed as a mythic item, Viego has struggled to find his way. However, just like Aurelia, he's another champ who's sneaky good with the buffed Trinity Force. With Kraken Slayer buffed for 13.11, a build already performing great in 13.10 that gets even stronger is the 2-item core of Kraken and Trinity Force. There's so much burst power coming out of this build with the passive proc from Kraken and the Spellblade proc from Trinity Force. Landing a stun on the enemy will pretty much guarantee a takedown, especially if they are squishy. This is where the build will fit in best in games where the enemy comp lacks durability. There's no point in going Divine Sunderer unless the enemy comp has 2 or more health stackers, so if they don't, definitely look to be building Trinity. Rune Page to run with this build is Conqueror, followed by Triumph, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace. Optimal secondaries are Freeboots and Cosmic Insight. A build that is performing extremely well on Zac, but is still being slept on by most players, consists of running Even Shroud as your mythic item. Radiant Virtue used to be the staple on Zac, but after it was changed in 13.10, it's seen a drop-off in win rate. Even Shroud has swooped in to take its place and works amazing with how Zac wants to play. Zac is a champion who's all about finding catch plays with his engage from E. Every single Zac ability besides his W has an immobilizing effect, so it's super easy for him to proc the Even Shroud passive. Being able to amplify his teammates' damage when he dives in makes capitalizing on those pick plays much easier. Another super underrated item that you can be slotting in 3rd against heavy AP comps is Abyssal Mask. Abyssal is heavily outperforming Spirit Visage right now when it comes down to that magic resist pickup. So your complete core build looks like a Sunfire Aegis Rush into Even Shroud 2nd and Abyssal Mask 3rd. Aftershock is the keystone rune with Font of Life, Conditioning, and Revitalize. Optimal secondaries are Triumph and Tenacity. This new build for Veigar turns him into an even deadlier late game champion, and it consists of running Static Shiv. This may seem a little troll at first, but let us explain. The new Static Shiv has a 50% AP ratio on its energized attack. Since Veigar stacks a mass amount of AP from his own passive, you can get great use out of this energized attack. The other stats on Static Shiv literally don't matter. It's all about the power you're gaining from the passive. Think of it like this. Buying an extra AP item when you already have 3 is not going to matter all that much. Being able to auto-attack a target for a massive amount of damage will though, as it becomes much easier for you to get the enemy low on health so that you can execute them with R. W is not an easy spell to hit straight up with Veigar, and oftentimes a Q into R won't be enough for that one shot. With Static Shiv though, a Q into auto attack and R can make a massive difference. So when should you be buying Static Shiv? It's generally best as a 4th pickup. Rod of Ages, Archangels, and Rabadons are pretty staple core pickups for Veigar, and then you go Static after that. Rune Page consists of First Strike with Magical Footwear, Biscuits, and Cosmic Insight. Best secondaries are Mana Flow and Transcendence. Not only is Veigar doing very well with Static Shiv as a late game pickup, but so is mid lane Echo. It's going to work amazing on Echo to provide a crazy amount of upfront burst power when diving in with your E. The Lich Bane proc in combination with the Static Shiv proc allows you to melt health bars. Unlike on Veigar, the attack speed in AD doesn't fully go to waste on Echo, as it's super useful for when you're looking to close out games, being able to take down towers faster. Static is even being buffed here in 13.11, so the build will become even stronger. You still need your staple core items on Echo of Rocket Belt and Lich Bane, but Shiv can be slotted in either 3rd or 4th. If you're super ahead early on and are looking to close out the game fast, going Static Shiv 3rd for a quicker spike and better tower taking power is great. In games that are more even and you need every bit of damage possible, going Rabadon's 3rd and saving Static for 4th is great too. If you guys are looking to pick up some Echo mid, we actually have a brand new commentary from our multi-region challenger mid laner Shori just uploaded to the website. Rune Page is Electrocute with Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, and Relentless Hunter. Grab Absolute Focus and Scorch for secondaries. A new build for Samira that has become very popular over in Korea the past patch consists of running Duskblade for the mythic item. It's full out lethality Samira, as you are going to rush the Duskblade and then go into the Collector second. Duskblade actually has incredible synergy with how Samira wants to play fights, as she can dive in to pick off an enemy and then proc the untargetable effect from Duskblade passive so she doesn't get blown up right away. The longer Samira can stay alive and have her ultimate running, the more impactful her teamfight presence becomes, so the passive from Duskblade works amazing in that regard. Remember, Duskblade is even being buffed here in 13.11, so this build that is already performing extremely well gets even better. The rune page is the same as always, with Conqueror followed by Triumph, Bloodline, and Last Stand. The secondaries are Eyeball Collection and Treasure Hunter. This item has single-handedly turned Zeri into one of the strongest ADCs for solo queue. Trinity Force Rush is the new optimal build for Zeri, and it works perfect for how the champion wants to play. You get a little bit of everything from Trinity, but one of the biggest perks is the added durability. Damage is still great, but you actually have some extra health to work with, which is amazing for a shorter ranged ADC like Zeri, who needs to be up close to deal her damage. It's not just Trinity Force that you'll be running for some added tankiness though, as Titanic Hydra will be slotted in 3rd. This is arguably one of the most broken 3-item spikes in the game, and it turns Zeri into a monster team fighter. You don't die and you deal insane damage. What more could you ask for as an ADC? Rune page to run with the build is Lethal Tempo with Triumph, Alacrity, and Last Stand. Grab Conditioning and Overgrowth for secondaries. There's a very unique build and rune page popping off on Annie support right now that you need to try. For the build, it revolves around the recently released Echoes of Helia. Echoes is super effective on Annie because it's very easy for her to proc its passive. Now, the really spicy part of the build is the fact you will be running Rylai's for the second item and going Glacial Augment in runes. The Rylai's slow in combination with Glacial Augment is super potent on Annie because whenever she hits her point-and-click stun, the enemy won't be going anywhere. Hitting a multi-man Tibbers in a fight and having that Glacial slow shoot out makes it very easy to capitalize on catch plays. The peel power is also so much better this way, as you already have a nice heal for your team coming out of Echoes of Helia, so instead of going airy, you can grab Augment to fend off dive champions better. The full rune page consists of Glacial Augment with Freeboots, Biscuits, and Cosmic Insight. Font of Life and Revitalize are the optimal secondaries. And for the final build to round it all out, it's for another champion you wouldn't initially expect to do well with Echoes of Helia, being Swain. Now, you might be wondering, well, how does Swain even proc Echoes of Helia? He doesn't have any ally heal or shield in his kit. This is where Font of Life comes in. When you impair the movement of any enemy, they become marked for 4 seconds. Ally champions who attack the mark are healed, which is how Echoes of Helia can work. This is also a big reason to why Glacial Augment is great with this setup, because it increases the chance of the enemy team being impaired, which synergizes with Font of Life and leads to Echoes of Helia being viable. 2-item core is exactly the same as what we saw on Annie with Echoes of Helia and Rylai's. Instead of rushing Echoes though, Rylai's is generally the better rush option for Swain. The complete rune page is Glacial Augment with Freeboots, Biscuits, and Approach Velocity. The best secondaries are Font of Life and Revitalize. So that's a wrap on all the builds, but if you want to improve fast and get the rank you've always wanted, then go to SkillCapped.com. With premium courses for every role and skill taught by the best players, SkillCapped is the perfect platform to help take your game to the next level. Take our Wave Control course. While you wait for your next game to start, you can learn freezing, fast pushing, slow pushing, bouncing waves, the list goes on, all in just a few minutes to maximize your improvement rate. Or maybe you just like seeing your opponent's health go to 0, then you'll love our trading course. We even have a skill test at the end so you can see how good you really are. Players just like you are leaving 5-star reviews and raving at how helpful they are. That's not all we offer though, as every week we release 10 brand new Smurf commentaries where a challenger player teaches you how to climb out of the exact rank you're stuck in. If you're looking for something more personal instead, then we got you covered with one-on-one coaching from our trained challenger experts. All of this seemed too good to be true? Well, don't worry, we're backed by a rank up guarantee. If you don't significantly improve while actively using SkillCapped, then you get your money back, no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below and get the rank you've always wanted. Thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck in solo queue, and we'll see you in the next one.